So, a few months ago, Gooseworks rolled out of bed in the morning and decided to eat the entirety of YouTube. They teamed up with many talented voice actors and animation studios to create the amazing digital Circus, which somehow has won exactly 0 awards for its music. This show stars everyone's new waifu being placed in a digitized circus and attempting to escape. On the way, she meets all the many fun, wacky, and also slightly depressed characters, all of which have amazing voice acting and designs.
What? It could be a completely unrelated question. You'll never know until it's too late.
So in celebration of the incredible work that went into this passion project, as well as the unfortunate amount of content our overlords have made about each character, mostly Jax for some reason, I'm going to be ranking each of the ADC characters from worst to best, with the exception of the mannequins. Although the lore behind them is pretty interesting, they only really appear in 2 different scenes and don't do anything in either one. The theories that they are placeholders for characters before they spawn is again somewhat intriguing, but it hasn't really been explored much yet, so they'd just be at the bottom of the list anyway. Every other member of the cast is fair game though, starting with...
This is dumb and weird.
You're still watching it!
Now, the Gloink Queen isn't a bad character by any means. She's the secondary antagonist behind the abstracted Korfmo, so long as we're ignoring Kane's true intentions, that is. She sits in a lair, literally giga-shitting cubes and eating tables. Pretty mood. I'm sure if I was a giant slug, I'd probably be doing the same thing. She's only really a character for a couple of minutes, and basically spends this entire time going on a mega rant about how Gloinks are pretty epic. Which, yeah, I kind of already want one as a pet. She has some interesting interactions with Jax.
You know, you could have asked for my consent before forcing me to see something so completely and utterly disgusting.
Other than that, she doesn't really do a whole lot in the show. Her life in the pilot can be summed up as this: eats furniture, farts shapes, rants about the government, and then gets beaten to death by clown spaghetti. Truly the legacy worthy of a queen.
I think Korfmo's gone insane.
The clown is certainly more than meets the eye in this show. He used to be a fully furnished character with an arc and everything until Gooseworks created Jax, who ultimately ended up taking his place. Thus, Korfmo entered his abstraction arc much earlier than planned. Apparently, he was meant to abstract at the end of the pilot, but this was never confirmed. Unfortunately, him abstracting immediately means we don't actually get to meet the character, which is a shame. I do like the creepiness of his room and all the lore behind what's actually happened to him, and apparently we're going to see other characters who we know eventually abstract themselves. This of course has sparked debate on who's next to fall.
Why are you looking at me like that?
As for the character himself, he serves as a decent enough antagonist. Not really that much of a threat, as it's made obvious characters can't really die here, but the attack on Ragatha and subtle signs of fear from Jax give him enough of a presence that it still works. Kane may have put him in the mega bin, but Korfmo's influence lives on in the theory community as a sinister reminder of the future for all of these poor characters.
They broke my comedy mask.
I don't really know much about ribbons, to be honest, so I brought in an expert.
In this ranking, we have Gangle, aka the Sad Ribbon Lady. Now, Gangle is a bit of a downer sometimes and can be a bit depressing. She's also barely on screen, but honestly, she is still better than the Gloink Queen. She does have some redeeming qualities, such as humor. Most of it comes from Jax or Kinger, though. She also seems to be the only one questioning logic in the entire show.
What about Zoobil?
She certainly does seem more alert than people give her credit for. Look, I love Gangle with all my heart, I really do. She just doesn't have much of a presence compared to the other characters. She only has one Pokemon attack, which is Big Cry, and to be fair, it is voiced very adorably. Her little squeaks are so cute.
We having a new adventure.
I don't want to hug the ribbon until she feels better. She's at the bottom in terms of the main cast, simply because she doesn't have much substance. Only really says a few lines and spends most of her time hiding behind other characters and whichever scenes she's in. Which, don't get me wrong, fits her character completely. It just tends to mean that she's overshadowed by whoever's next to her, which unfortunately is mostly either Kinger or Jax. I, as well as a lot of the lore community, have a strange feeling her story is going to end tragically, and my heart is truly going to break if that's the case. Gooseworks, please be merciful upon this comedy ribbon. I do actually know a surprising amount of people who relate to her for some weird reason.
My true reason is that I think Gangle needs help, and so do the people who draw her naked. You know who you are.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Anyone else getting 035 vibes from her, by the way?
Okay, I've already had enough of these things.
The Gloinks may not have words, but they don't need them. Their first action is literally stealing a table and flipping into the ground with it. Truly the hero this city needs. And also mega chat energy. Some people don't count these guys as their own characters, but I would argue that they're present in enough scenes to warrant a mention. And yes, I non-ironically put them above an actual character, but that's because I relate to these guys. They're basically ADHD personified. Besides, if my mascots prove anything, I have a weakness for derpy shapes that consume objects for no reason. It's a shame they steal Zoobil off us so early, but watching them casually walk away with Kinger's hands is pretty funny. I think my favorite Gloink is probably the green cube for obvious crab reasons. He steal the table, he steal the Zoobil, he bunk the Jax, and then he dies valiantly in service to his queen. You will not be forgotten, Green Square. Also, rest in peace this red one that gets mega curb stomped by Korfmo.
What the f*** is going on?
I can explain. Yes, she's the main character, I know, she's great, however she's also forced to play the fish out of water angle the whole episode. She's the only member of the cast who's not in her element, and I'm sure her presence will improve as the series goes on, she just hasn't really had a chance to shine yet. We don't truly know who Pomni is, just that she's really scared of the circus. Look, I know a lot of people like Pomni, hell, Tumblr loves Pomni if you catch my drift. Then again, Tumblr loves everybody, get away from him. The Jester's voice actor does an exquisite job. Nothing on the Goliaths that are Jax or Kane, but she definitely conveys Pomni's confusion and distress throughout finding herself in a situation like this. She also has her own adorable moments like Gangle's VA.
Oh, okay, now I get it!
Plus, Pomni has by far the best reaction shots in the whole show, and that meme is just glorious. It's just a shame that her predicament prevents her from being part of many jokes, with the swearing barrage really being her only one.
Oh my god.
That being said, her joking or being funny wouldn't really make any sense in the situation, so I know why they did it. I'm just not really a fan of fish out of water types, so I brought in someone who is. Take it away, Dogmod.
If I'm being honest, Pomni is only close to my favorite because she reminds me of Kobani from a Chainsaw Man. Some traits I like about Pomni is she reminds me of a cat stuck in a tree. I don't know why, I just like cats. She is probably the most realistic character though, because like personally, if I was stuck in a digital circus thing, I would either freak the hell out or kill anyone I see. There isn't much I can go off of since it's a 25-minute pilot, but I am excited to see her progress as a character.
Good points, friend, or maybe bad points, I don't know. You haven't submitted your voice lines in time for me to make a script for them, you egg. So I'm just going to assume you did great, unless you didn't, in which case you suck. Editor, give him a score. That's not a number, that's Jeff. Is Jeff a number?
Oh no, they killed Zoobil.
I love Zoobil's personality and design. No wonder the gloink stole her, I mean, damn.
Look at its curvature!
Yeah, that's fair. Zoobil's wonderfully abrasive. She wants exactly 0% of Kane's shit. She's also compassionate to Pomni while being super grumpy at Kinga for screwing up her rescue.
Are you mother?
She's super bipolar, it's great. A lot of people tend to overlook her because she doesn't really talk that much and she gets stolen pretty early on. But honestly, I think she's one of the more mentally stable characters in the show when you look at her actions. There have been many theories proposed online that the real reason she wanted to leave Kane's activity the day Pomni arrived was because she and Kaufmo were working on escaping together, which would explain why Kane sent the gloinks to capture her specifically, while he disappeared to force Kaufmo's extraction, which would explain this drawing of Kaufmo's room, a desperate warning from his final moments. I for one am very excited for her future, you know, provided Kane doesn't catch on to her first. As for the pilot itself, she's a great contrast to the sadness of the ribbon or the insanity of Kinga. I hope they don't pull a Huntsman Hotel and replace her voice actress. Ashley Nichols nails the edgy vibes of the Shape Woman, even if again, she doesn't really talk a whole lot. She even has my favorite line in the whole pilot.
If anyone needs me, then f off.
Truly the goth anime GF this city needs.
I am in so much pain.
Ragatha is so sweet, very caring woman, which pretty much envelops her whole character. Immediately going to care for Pomni after the shock of her new situation, she even considers trying to save Kaufmo when she realizes Kane will just throw him in the void bin. She doesn't really like centipedes though, which yeah, fair enough, those guys are terrifying.
You're not afraid of centipedes, are you?
Jax! That's literally my only fear. Why would you do this?
Look at all them legs. That's at least 7 legs too many for animals to have. Jeebus, I demand you smite this creature for its crimes. Where was I? Oh right, Ragatha. She's pretty interesting. A lot of people reckon she's next to Abstract, looking at a little outburst in the corridor here. And honestly, I think they might be onto something. I'm sure our relationship with Pomni will blossom long before this happens, meaning she's likely to go out with a bang in terms of broken hearts. But until then, she's a sweet old lady kind of character who's basically the mother of the group. Her glitching effect is pretty cool too. Don't really know how you animate that. I also can't imagine how long it took her to drag herself across the circus while doing it. So all in all, a pretty nice, sweet character.
You parasite!
I have a confession to make. The reason Bubble is ranked so high is because Bubble is me. I am Bubble. Super annoying to the point everyone wants to stab me, little to no attention span, eater of all the cakes, complete bona fide dumbass, and secretly a psychopathic chef.
Made with all the love I'm legally allowed to give.
That's an excerpt taken straight from my Tinder bio. 0 matches, weird. Bubble is my spirit animal and is everything I aspire to be in life. The roundest of boys, the cleverest of gamers, an unstoppable force of epic proportions, and the most confusing entity ever conceived.
Why are you like this?
As for her role in the show, Bubble is Kane's assistant, escaping his hat to do all sorts of derpy things such as licking the floors or ordering lobster rolls on Kane's dime, because she's an expensive bitch. She can also cook one hell of a roast chicken and potatoes, you know, as plastic digital food goes. Bubble has just enough of a separation to her personality personality that she makes her own impact compared to Kane, who at times makes it very clear he has no earthly idea why Bubble do what Bubble do. Truly the most epic soap sphere to ever exist. 11 out of 10. Good chain chomp. So just a quick explanation of the clips you're about to watch. So as part of having people be a guest on my video, I just wanted them to have a couple of words about, you know, their favorite character and what they like about them, what they dislike about them. So this is what Buggo came up with about Bubble. It's about 15 seconds long, so I just want you to sit back, relax, and truly enjoy this for what it is.
Bubble is annoying as fuck. If she can, she will eat everything. And I mean everything, because she's always hungry. She's only legally allowed to give so much love and food in a way.
Oh, Bug, don't ever change. So we've now reached the top 3 characters on this list. But before we talk about them, I want to give a small honourable mention to the background characters in the sleeping quarters. When Jax, Ragatha and Pomni are heading to Kaufmo's room, you see some interesting faces on the doors, all apparently past characters from the circus who have abstracted. These characters are heavily theorised about in the community and are honestly a lot of fun to investigate, especially with the little hints the producers drop about each one. A notable figure of these characters is Queenie, confirmed by Gooseworks to be significant to Kinga. It adds a lot to his lore, such as how he survived her abstraction for so long without losing himself. Speaking of the cock-eyed monarch,
My impenetrable fortress!
Lord Bingus IV, aka Bertie Brown, aka Split Vision McGee, is one of my favourite characters, as you no doubt have learned by the fact he's number 3 in this list you're currently watching. I've sipped too much sugar today. Kinga's jokes really land well for me, most better than Jax's actually. They're either slow burn or blink and you'll miss it, which both work great for my smooth brain. None of his jokes make any sense, and that's literally how I work, so I gel really well with the guy. Kingpin also clearly has Gmod admin powers with his ability to spawn props and ragdoll into orbit. I think he's a lot like Bubble really. Super derpy and very much lacking brain cells. That being said, there are many who think he's faking his insanity to secretly outsmart Kane. I don't buy it, I just think the dude's a moron. Although that would explain how he's managed to last so long in the circus, especially after losing someone close. A very interesting character through and through, and I think that, hey, JT, get out of—
Hey, JT popping in here, and today I'm here to talk about a weird, anxious, and mentally ill chess piece named Kinger. Now, even though I think this show is weird and dumb, like Beansy, Kinger is the saving grace. As stated in the show, Kinger is the oldest of the characters to have been in the digital circus.
Well, Kinger over there's supposedly been here the longest.
And surprising he hasn't obstructed like Kaufmo yet, considering he spends all his time in a pillow fort cowering like a wimp. He has detachable hands, lopsided eyes, and a really cool looking coat. Now, I don't have long before Beansy puts me back in my dungeon, but Kinger is single-handedly the best character in the entirety of the show, because a scared chess piece is top quality character development. Just as quickly as I popped in, hey, JT popping out here.
It seems JT got out of his cage. Give me a moment, I'll deal with this.
Batman, I caught a little Pokemon.
Voiced by the almighty Michael Cormack of Has-Been Hotel fame, how could they replace my boy? Jax is the almighty trickster and a lot of people's favourite character.
One way to describe it is that he's a complete asshole, and we love him for that. One of my favorite things is his voice actor, Michael Kovac. His voice is just immaculate, and the way how Jax sounds so sassy and so arrogant is just amazing.
Kinda rude, Zoobil. Now I don't wanna help you.
He's someone that accepts the reality of the situation and just try to make the best for it. Plus, his facial expressions are just top notch. That's all I gotta say about him.
Owner of centipedes and thrower of bowling balls, this Easter Bunny ripoff spends his days tormenting the locals and caring deeply about his fellow comrades.
Ladies first. No, wait, why would I say that?
Now, because he's the vast majority's favourite character by a significant mile, he's also the one we ask the most questions about. As such, Gooseworks has told us significantly more about old Jax here than any other character. Without spoiling anything in particular, Jax's future looks dark, my friends. The devs have hinted heavily that he's going to start becoming much more hostile in his antics, and his friendly jokes may start turning more sinister in nature. That being said, nothing's set in stone yet, and with just how much people like Jax, there's every reason to believe that Loosey Goosey over here may just revoke his doomed character status and make him the true Bonnie main that we know him to be. Personally, I'm happy to see either result come out of him. Having a redemption arc would be cozy, but watching him turn mad would be an insane twist indeed. Not to mention impactful as all hell. I guess we'll just have to see what the future holds for Wii Sports Bowling. For pilot specifics, he's clearly smarter than he's letting on, choosing to stick around the most sane members of the team when possible and hiding Gangle and Kinga down the Zooble hole when he's worried Kaufmo will find them. Also, how dare you push my ribbon over, Bunny? I will kill you.
Today's adventure is Goggle My Balls!
the almighty, the unstoppable, the godlike set of dentures with a hat. Cain is a glory to behold, he really is. It's a miracle that he disappears a third in and only returns for the ending, otherwise none of the other characters would stand a chance. He absolutely eats any scene he's in. His VA is incredible. Alex Rochin, clearly a master of the microphone, unlike me, who's a complete moron. Every single scene that contains this man is glorious. I literally don't think I've ever heard a character perform so well in this manner before. His jokes are all top-notch with notable gems including
Drown yourself in the digital lake, you parasite!
As well as
What do you think of...
I don't...
You're right, terrible. Let's try that again.
lore-wise, he's a mystery on all fronts. We know he's an AI, not a human consciousness like the rest of the main cast, and that he controls almost every part of the circus with eyes on everybody at all times. Some argue he's keeping Pomni and the gang here deliberately, others say he's a victim like everybody else. I secretly believe Bubble is the mastermind behind this whole plot. Look how evil he is. Cain's mystery, power, design, and insane sense of humor skyrocket him into first place on this list. I mean, the dude literally pulls a Gmod split-eye reaction gif.
Oh no.
You know, from 2013. God, I miss the early 2010s, man. The memes were so good. I truly don't know if people in other countries will find him nearly as endearing, or whether his English VA simply carries the character exceptionally hard, but it wouldn't surprise me if Alex is the sole reason we all love him so much. Again, no recasting. Bad. In fact, I'm so certain that everybody loves Cain that I found the grumpiest man in the entire world and asked him to say a few words about him. So everybody put your hands together for the slightly mentally big dumb Poppu.
So Mr. Cocaine, voiced by Alex Rojon, the voice of such memorable characters as President Obama himself, is the boss of this colorful hell, having bars rivaling fucking Eminem.
Night, day, it's all okay. The choice is yours, a cosmic buffet.
My favorite part was when he disappeared into a fart cloud for 15 minutes, cause I didn't have to listen to his grandma Teef looking ass anymore. It made the show just a tad bit more watchable. That doesn't change the fact that the rest of the cast is also fucking insufferable. I would rather spend 15 years in a concentration camp than watch this shit again, dude. The fanbase of this show consists of two groups of people: immature bitches with a mental age of 7 and degenerates. I mean, look at how much porn there is of this. People were making porn of it even before it fucking came out. And I don't care about how intricate the lore is, how good it might be. It doesn't matter if it's wrapped in a layer of shit. It's like your mom giving you the best burrito of your life, but first you have to chew through your dead cat, solidified dog piss, and a broken plate. Look at this funny thing I found. In this scene, Pomna has a fucked up hand, yes? In the next one, it has been magically healed by the power of Jesus' anus. But in the next scene, Satan has strengthened his grasp on Pomna, and her hand is broken again. Oh yeah, fuck, I was supposed to review Cain. I give him 5 Eminem out of 10 dog poop.
Well, should probably have seen that coming.
Drown yourself in the digital lake.
And that's the list, ladies and gents. I'd love to hear your opinions, no doubt scolding me for not putting the true mastermind in first place, but what can I say, we all have flaws. A huge thank you to Pikachu, Dogmod, Abis, Debugofen, and Poppu for giving their opinions upon these characters. They all have various YouTube and Twitch channels of their own, so be sure to check out their content. I'll have links to their channels in the description, of course, as well as cards showing up whenever they begin speaking. The next list will either be a Hell of a Boss ranking or a Has-Been Hotel ranking to celebrate its forthcoming full release. If you'd like to star in any of these lists similar to these nubs, or simply want to support my content or that of others, I have a Discord link in the description that I use for making polls and chatting with epic gamers, stuff like that. And of course, if you have a list of your own, be sure to leave it in the comments. Having a few guests on this video really showed me how different people's opinions could truly be about the same characters. Especially this man's, who is very mean and should be banned accordingly. That's all from us here at Beanos Incorporated. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, and hopefully I'll see you around.